Now, you're going to hear a little on leadership from Field Marshal Lord Herring, once again World War I and World War II veteran. He also fought in the Second Battle of Alamein. He was wounded, lost some fingers, recovered, got back to the fight. So he says about leadership here, there are some people who believe that leadership is something which is inborn or which you acquire automatically at a public school. But neither of those things are true. There are certain fundamental qualities which affect leadership and which depend to a very large extent on upbringing and the moral and spiritual values which you learn in your family and in your environment as a young man. But there is no special way, nor is there any special caste or class which has the prerogative of leadership. There are many forms of leadership. Political parties have their leaders. Every big organization in industry or commerce all have their leaders. And at the other end of the scale, so do dance bands, and so do gangs of thieves and smugglers. There are many qualities that apply equally to every type of leader, but you and I are concerned with one particular type of leadership, to my mind, the highest type of all, and that is leadership on the battlefield. And I believe it to be the highest type because it has to be exercised under conditions of great difficulty and considerable danger. I would like you to be quite clear about the conditions under which you will have to exercise leadership. You will frequently be tired. You may also be cold and wet and hungry and thirsty. You may be dripping with sweat, or you may be freezing with cold. You won't know precisely what is going on. You won't know exactly where the enemy is. You certainly won't know what he is going to do or what his capabilities are of doing anything. You may not know where your own people are or what they are going to do. To put it briefly, you've got to be able to exercise leadership in conditions of fatigue and fear, uncertainty and ignorance, and often in isolation. That is what makes it extremely difficult, and that is why leadership on the battlefield calls, in my view, for the highest qualities. Many qualities are required in a leader. Different people have different views about which are more important. In my opinion, there are 5 outstanding mental and physical, moral and spiritual qualities without which you cannot hope to be successful and a good leader on the battlefield. The first of those qualities is a mental and physical one, and that is fitness. Absolute fitness of mind and body. So, make sure you're getting your morning physical training in. Physical fitness, mental fitness. Next, then I would say you've got to have complete integrity. You've got to be honest not only with yourselves, but with the men you lead and the people with whom you work. And honesty and integrity are things that you cannot compromise with. You cannot alter. If you do, you will lose confidence and you will not be able to lead. You must have complete integrity. So, that's the same thing as being straight.
Yeah.
Not after that. Not in any next after that. Not in any order of priority, but this is how I have put them down deep in my mind. There is an enduring courage. Pretty well everyone can be brave for a few minutes. Most of us can, if we steel ourselves to it, take one plunge or make one decision or incur one risk. But the sort of courage you must have to lead on the battlefield is an enduring courage, and one that will go on when other people falter. One that will enable you to do what you know to be right, irrespective of the danger or the difficulty, often contrary to the advice of well-meaning friends. So, gotta have courage. Next, then you must have daring initiative. Initiative means doing right away what you might, if you had time, think of doing a few minutes later. I like this. If you wait for things to happen to you, they will happen, all right. And here I am quoting the words of my predecessor, also spoken here. They will happen to you, but they won't be what you like, and they certainly won't bring you success. Initiative means seeing at once and very quickly what needs to be done, making up your mind to do it, and then seeing it through to the bitter end. So I love that one. If you wait for things to happen to you, they certainly will. A little bit more on willpower here. Then you must have undaunted willpower. The willpower is the motive power. It is what enables you to make yourself fit in mind and body, to produce in you, in your heart, the courage, the enduring courage that I spoke of, to give you the courage to do your duty and to make the sacrifice that may be called from you. It is the willpower that forces you to take the initiative, to make the plan, to do what is required, to see it through, and that willpower must be undaunted. It must never allow itself to be overcome or subdued. Perhaps the finest example living today of the power and influence for good of man with undaunted willpower is our Prime Minister. In one of the critical periods of the last war, he spoke certain words. I am going to quote you now. He said, "All the great struggles in history have been won by superior willpower, wresting victory in the teeth of odds or upon the narrowest of margins." It is the willpower that is superior, that can wrest victory in the teeth of odds. That is the type of willpower that has got to be developed in a leader on the battlefield. Mobilize your will. Now he talks about some other qualities. He talks about knowledge. He talks about judgment. He talks about team spirit, saying because you cannot get success on the battlefield by yourself, you've got to work with other people. So obviously as a leader, you have to have that spirit of teamwork. And closing out, he says, there's one other thing I would like to say to you. As British officers, you will never have all you want, all you need. You'll be short of this or that or the other. Sometimes you will be short of men. Other times your equipments or weapons may not be as good as you think they ought to be, nor will you have as many as you would like. You may be short of ammunition. You may also be short of food and water or other necessary things. When these circumstances arise, as they do often throughout your service, both in peace and war, there is only one motto, and that is to make certain that you do the very best you can with what you've got. Don't bellyache about what you have not got, but get on and make certain you do your utmost with what you have got. Now, to sum up what I've tried to say this afternoon, I would like to put it like this. First, keep fit, absolutely fit. Then, be honest with yourselves and honest with those with whom you work. Then, have courage and make it an enduring courage. Next, be bold, be daring, and when there is a choice, take the bold and daring course. Make the very most of what you have got, and never, never, never give in. Yes. Do what you can with what you've got.
Until you really liked that one right there.
Yeah. Sometimes it kind of starts hitting me.